Ooh, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. It's wild to see.
Well, y'all, welcome back. I'm out here camping, and I managed to find a spot that is covered with snow, which is really cool. And I actually had to make some phone calls to even figure out if this spot was open, because the entrance to the campground, the loop where you can camp at, where I'm at, it was closed. The gates were locked. And there's even a gate right here that's locked. And I made some phone calls, and she's like, oh yeah, just go in the back way at the exit of the campground and set up. She said it's actually open, but they closed that one because there's a big hill over there, and with the snow, somebody might go off the road. So really cool that I'm here. There's nobody else here, which is also neat, and there are animal prints everywhere. But we've got the truck set up. I'm plugged in. I've got some heat going. We've got some cool a new device to try for dinner tonight and some good food to make. So stay tuned, y'all. I'm gonna enjoy this fire. Get my coat. It's warm, but it's still cold. You know what I'm saying? Hat. The old stocking cap on, yeah. Ooh, that feels good. Still gonna hood it up. Some gloves.
You guys can see that there's some animal tracks through here. They're kind of all over the place. And it's been a while since it snowed, so unless they're super fresh, they're going to be melted. But I'm kind of curious what a lot of these are. Like, these are probably rabbits. That's a rabbit track, I would say. But I'm curious if we could find anything. Like, there's smaller ones out here too. But that could just be new versus old. Like, that looks relatively new compared to some of these. Right there. There's a bunch at this spot. Some of them look fresh. Alright, so there's definitely some deer tracks. Though that's really light. Huh. Whatever it was, spent a lot of time over here. And over in here. And then there's another, like, completely different type of trail right there, you see? Just one straight line. Yeah, a lot of these are too small to really recognize.
I shouldn't say too small. A lot of them have melted to a point you can't tell what they are. Not that I'm great at identifying anything like this anyways, but I could tell you the difference between a deer and a rabbit and a raccoon and probably a cat. Know what I'm saying? Maybe a big old bear. We ain't got those around here, though. I ain't got to worry about that. Oh, it's chilly on the schnoz. Yeah, I kind of thought I'd be able to tell what some of these are. None of them look super fresh. Could be anything out here in this area, though, really. Get back by the fire, warm up my fingers.
It's muddy. Oop, slipping. Yeah. Tight. Oh, and it's on my jeans. Don't do that. Don't rub my...
Man, dang old dang. It's alright, though. I got snow. I can use the snow to get it off.
Yeah.
Fire feels good.
All right, y'all, made it into the rig. So tonight I am going to make grilled cheese because we got to make them at night, right? And to do this, the main thing is we've got cast iron and we've got this new wave hot plate. We've got a hot plate. This was sent in on a live a ways back, and I have not used this yet, but this is like a fancy induction hot plate. As you can see, it's still got the tag on it and everything. There's some instructions in here. I don't know if we'll need these, but we've got all of that. And then we've got some cooking stuff here, and I need to go ahead and grab some things out of the cooler. We've got some mushrooms. What are these? Sliced mini bella? Sliced mini bella mushrooms. An onion. We've got jalapeno. Ooh, I'm losing it all. Some chives. And for what we're making, which is a grilled cheese, we've got some creamy mozzarella. This is what I used on the last video. We also picked up some of this creamy sharp cheddar. This is going to be really tasty. And what else? We've got something tasty to drink. I haven't had a jar of toast in a long time. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right, to be honest with you guys. To be honest with you guys, Jarritos, something like that. God, I haven't had one of these in a while. Pineapple flavor. Let me go ahead and stick that in a koozie just so it stays cold. And yeah, so we are making kind of a fancy grilled cheese tonight. I have sourdough bread. This is farmhouse sourdough, Pepperidge Farms remembers. And I picked up some fancy butter. We're going to use this. That's going to be pretty tasty on this, I think. So yeah, we need to go ahead and get this cast iron preheating. This thing, I tested it at home just to make sure that it worked with the cast iron, since it's a convection, or not convection, what do they call it? Is it convection? Induction. And I didn't know if cast iron worked with induction, but the cast iron pan that I have does. So let's get this thing turned on. Probably should take this tag off. Get her plugged into our power. There we go. So this is kind of fancy. You can pick your own temperatures and whatnot. Yeah, like I said, this was sent into the P.O. box. At this point, it may have been a couple years back. I'm gonna shut this thing off just so I don't pop the breakers. This thing, you can adjust the wattage on it from 600, 900, and 1300. I don't know what we're gonna need for this, and I'm getting ahead of myself. We gotta chop up some vegetables first. Let's set this down here on the floor. All right, so we've got a bunch of stuff in here. We're gonna need that, and that's probably it. Let's get some of these mushrooms chopped up. We're just gonna chop everything up. Shablam, that'll work. Maybe we don't need that much yet. Alright. Let's see. Should we do the Jalapenos next. I don't know if we'll use both of them. We're just going to take a little bit off one of these. It's a decent looking jalapeno. Cutting them pretty thin. That is going to be plenty here. I'll eat one. It's probably going to be pretty spicy for y'all. Let's see. Yep. That's hot. Fresh jalaps. We're going to chop those up a little bit more because we're going to put all these in the pan and we're going to saute these first. Ooh, mushroom on the floor. We're going to saute these first before we get to making our grilled cheese. And we're going to put those all on top of there. So let's get some of this onion also. I don't know how much of this we're going to need, but just a sweet onion. Let's go ahead and peel some of this junk off. That look like enough? It's probably enough. And last but not least, we've got some chives. And we might chop up a little bit of these at the end and put them right in the cheese also. But for now, we're just gonna shablam. I don't know what I'm doing with these guys. Stay in there where you're supposed to be. Oh, maybe not. Chop these guys up. It'll be fine. And there we go. We've got a bit of veggies. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. So we're gonna, I think, turn this thing on to like 300. Sounds about right. Which is nice that you can do this and then hit start. We've got our freshly seasoned pan here. So this is the Lodge pan that I've had, but I've been watching a bunch of cast iron videos lately, and these Lodge pans are kind of rough. So I took some sandpaper to this on my orbital sander. And I did some like 60 grit, some 80 grit, and 60 grit, 60 grit, then 80 grit. And that was really about it. I started with a bit of emery cloth, and I just smoothed it down. The Lodge pans are rough sand cast. So I smoothed it down a bit, and it feels better. And I gave it 4 coats of seasoning, and we're going to see if it'll make a grilled cheese. We've got some steakhouse butter. And that's what we're going to saute these veggies in and cook our grilled cheese with. Ooh, that's hot. There we go. I'm all befuddled here. Oop, I can't take that off of there, I guess. Got plastic. Doesn't like it if you move it off of here. Since it's an induction, I guess. I want to make sure we got enough butter on here. Alright. Smells really good. This is going. Got a plate. Let's see. We've got some crinkle cut tater chips. These were sent in. We'll give these guys a whirl. Got some silverware and I've got a plate. So we're going to give these a couple of minutes. And I guess we can go ahead and get ourselves some bread buttered up. Pepperidge Farm sourdough. Sourdough is like all the rage these days, I guess. Maybe it's just with the housewives, but it's very popular right now. I haven't had sourdough in quite a while, so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some of like the big middle pieces. There we go. That smells good. It smells really good. Alright. Let this butter sit out, so it should be spreadable. Could be better. We don't burn these too much. That's smelling really good. I don't know if the chives in there were on point. Maybe we should have waited on the chives. But it smells really good. Alright. Might use a little bit more butter. Give these chips a try quick. I think I've had these before. Habanero lime, I was going to say a bit of a citrus taste. Spicy. That's good. Okay. Go ahead and pull the vegetables off. We'll just put them down here. That's kind of neat. It automatically shuts itself off anyways. Alright. When you turn back on. There we go. We're going to turn this up to... we'll leave it at 300. It'll be fine. Let's get a little bit, just a little bit more butter in there. Can't have too much butter. Make sure our cheese is ready. Let's go ahead and drop that guy on there. We've got some of our cheese here. We want to put in a decent amount of cheese. Don't be afraid. We've got our sharp cheddar. We're going to do our mozzarella. We want a good amount of cheese in there. Don't be afraid to get it in the pan. And bring that down. Bring that down to 200. All right, before we burn anything, let's go ahead and put our mixture on there. We can. We'll go ahead and set our other piece of bread on there. Just get her warmed up. I suppose I could have mixed that all together, but it's fine. Give that another minute or so. See what it's all about. Ooh, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, well that is like perfectly cooking. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open. Jar of toast, pineapple. Haven't had one of these in 20 years at least. Sweeter than I expected. No, it's got a lot of sugar in it. That's tasty though. It's definitely different than my the pineapple spindrift drinks that I like. Alright. We're not burning this, are we? That's getting a little crispy. We gotta pull that out of there. A little bit burnt maybe. Honestly, I think that looks great. We gotta get all these veggies out of here. And the newly seasoned cast iron did good with the butter. I'm pretty satisfied with that. The other side looks a little nicer, but let's get this guy cut. All right. Let's see how we did here. Look at that, steaming, melty. Oof. All right. This looks tasty. I did not bring any hot sauce or anything with me this time. That looks really good, and with all these extra fixings in there, I think it's going to be great. Cheers, y'all. That is amazing. The mushrooms in there really set it off. Grilled cheese is where it's at, y'all. That is amazing. With the fresh jalapenos in there, fresh jalaps make everything better. That's about perfect. I think the only thing that could have made this better was like thicker cuts of sourdough. Like twice the thickness of this, like Texas toast sourdough. But absolutely, fry up some onions, peppers, whatever you want. Onions, peppers. I did the mushrooms because I thought it would taste good. Chives. You could do like green onions, anything you want. Fry those up, saute those, then put them on there. Cook that. Grilled cheese. Superb. Let me look at that. Look at all the veggies in there. I'm going to be fighting the urge to make another one for the rest of the night. I only need one though. Oh, it's so good. You could have maybe put a little bit of bacon or something on there for a little bit of meat, but it's amazing as is. And I would advise shredded cheese. Shredded cheese works great. So good. You can't go wrong with grilled cheese on a cast iron, y'all. That is amazing. I am not a tomato soup guy. I don't like tomato soup with grilled cheese. I don't like tomato soup at all. So I'm sure some of y'all would be making that right now along with this. Not my thing, but I gotta not make another one. I'm gonna clean this stuff up and put it away. And I got the tablet. Let's go ahead and get a movie going. See what we got on here. Downloaded some stuff a couple of weeks ago, so we've got something if it's not expired. I've got to say that was probably the best grilled cheese I've ever had. Tooting my own horn for sure on that. Not that I've had many grilled cheeses. Like, I don't know if I've ever eaten a grilled cheese at a restaurant or anything like that. So that was easily the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The mushrooms and the peppers and stuff in there sauteed, sauteing those beforehand and putting them in there, absolutely amazing. And you could do that in many different ways. And my cast iron pan worked all right. The seasoning worked all right. I'm going to keep working on that. I'm like this close to buying another cast iron pan. I've never had anything nicer than a Lodge. And, Lodge is complete entry level. So I guess if you guys out there are using something different that's like a higher grade than a Lodge, let me know what it is and if it's worth it to you. Like, I know you can get antique pans and stuff like that, Wagner's and whatnot, but there's some new stuff out there. But nice cast iron is also not cheap. But any nice set of pans aren't cheap either. But yeah, if you guys are using something that's nicer than a Lodge, let me know what it is. Let's see what I have on here. Scream, Waterworld, Due Date. I've got some good stuff on Netflix. And then on Amazon, Mystery Men, The Creator, Deer Camp 86. Oh, can I not read what this is about? Exit playing. I thought you could read these. No. Let's see what this is about. In the fall of 1986, 6 friends from Detroit travel north to partake in the annual tradition of deer hunting, but something horrific has been awakened. An ancient spirit seeks vengeance for the death of yet another Native American girl who's gone missing or been murdered. In an ironic twist, the hunters have become the hunted. It's not like it's a horror movie. Not what I thought it was going to be. But we'll see what it's about.
All right, dude, hey, say what we're doing this weekend and whose cabin this is.
So, it's my buddy's cabin. It's our deer camp tradition.
Whoa, you don't know what it's like to have served, okay?
Oh, but you do. Fuck, you spent 2 weeks in the Marines and then quit.
I was honorably discharged after they found a heart murmur, and you know that, you son of a rotten bitch.
Oh. Give you some light. Yo, hold on a second. Good morning. Oh. Oh. Slept great in here. The heater on was nice. I didn't even put my thermometers out last night, but I have my alarm set because I have to get out of here. It says it's 25 degrees out, feels like 16. I gotta get out of here and make it home, and I'm 2 hours away from home. So I gotta get home quick because we've got somebody showing up to look at our heat pump. It's not going into the defrost cycle, so when it's really cold out, if it's running on the heat pump setting for heat, the outside of it'll frost over or freeze over. So that's awesome. We've just been running it on emergency heat, and I guess some of them will switch over automatically to emergency heat when it's this cold anyways. And that just uses the electric element inside instead of running it through the heat pump or whatever. I don't know exactly how all that nonsense works, but so I gotta be home for that heat pump guy to show up. And that's at the new place, so that's tight. And then I was at the old house doing more work on that place over the weekend, and I was downstairs doing something, washing some paintbrushes or something, or I was washing what was I doing? I was washing the tub out, because that's what I'd used to like wash paintbrushes and stuff in the tub, so it needed cleaned out. The water heater blew up. Like the pressure relief valve blew. I don't know what happened, and I hear this loud pop and it's dumping water all over the floor, so I shut that thing off. But it's like 11 years old. It needs replaced anyways, I think. It's like half rusted out on the bottom, and if it's not one thing, it's another. So I'm gonna get some coffee made quick and we'll hit the road. I got something I want to show you guys. I'm doing the old Juan Valdez again this morning. A couple scoops would be good. Bigger cup though. Vitamin, I can't put that on in here because the dang old ball hit the ceiling. I thought I heard some raccoons last night out here, but I couldn't see anything. Coffee is served. It's a gorgeous morning, y'all. Gorgeous morning.
see that old windmill? All right, y'all, we were just on the side of the road, and what I'm talking about is right over here. I know the sun's really low, so it might be kind of hard to see some of this, but there's a creek that comes through right here, and you can see in the sunlight these cars that are over here. In the summer, when this is all covered with leaves, you probably won't be able to see any of this. And I just saw the sun glinting off of this stuff. It's wild. Check this out. Look at all these cars. There's one right there. And they go all the way up in there. That's really neat. But they did it so when the water comes through here, it wouldn't pull all the dirt out. That's an old Impala, I think, right? Those are Impala taillights. Can you guys see that? God, yeah, these are all like 50s. There's the roof of a car right there. And they've just been rusted out. Try to walk through here a little bit more. God, they're gorgeous, dude. Sorry that the sun is in the wrong spot right now. So much cool old iron in there. Don't want to get too far into this guy's field, but God, this is neat. This is really neat. Yeah, that's an old Impala, I believe. They're everywhere in here. Everywhere. There's those taillights again, right? That's an Impala, I believe. And look, it's just full of it up here. The tree has grown through that thing. Is that an old Suburban or something? Or is that like a Chevy wagon? It's hard to tell. About as far as I think I'm gonna go. There's a couple more up there. There's a truck cab. That looks like another Impala maybe, or a Biscayne. It's wild to see. The wildest part is like there's still good chrome trim on some of these things. But you can tell by that tree sticking out through the hood there that these have been here for a long time. That is a fairly mature tree. Yeah, it's wild. All right, I'm gonna snap a couple pictures and we'll get headed back up to the truck. It's chilly out there. Turn those flashers off for now. Well, y'all, that was a cool way to end the trip. There was more in there than I thought. And yeah, it's wild to me, like, especially with what I believe is an Impala, those taillights and like the trim on them are still there. Like, it's got to be worth a few bucks, but I'm not going to go in there and start stealing trim off these guys. You know what I mean? But it's cool to see. I know of one other place, and I don't remember exactly where it is, but I know of one other place in Nebraska where they've done this. But I think this used to be pretty common. Nowadays people use like crushed up concrete and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyways, y'all, it was a good night. The grilled cheese last night was amazing. By all means, fancy up a grilled cheese like that. Perfect. You could add some sort of meat if you want to also. But I didn't want to do that last night. But yeah, beautiful night of camping and a great way to end it off. Hit the like button if you thought it was cool, subscribe if you haven't, all that nonsense. And as always, stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.